Stephen Moreno, KO Artist Sports, here with my tocayo, per usual.
Yeah,
you know, gotta do it, mandatory. Man, lots to talk about. Let's get into this one though. I mean, the one at hand, right? Incredible. I feel like I'm going through the list. I know Roberto Duran, you know, has accomplished this feat, moving two weight classes and fighting like the guy, right? Where it's not just moving up 2 weight classes, it's fighting the guy and beating the guy. You know, Bernard Hopkins the same. You know, what does a victory? I feel like Jermell is already Hall of Fame, but what does a victory over Charlo or Canelo do for his legacy overall?
It's life-changing. It's legacy determining. I mean, beating the biggest star in the sport, you know, he's an underdog, you know, against a pound-for-pound guy. Like, you know, this is what you wait your whole career, your whole life for, an opportunity like this. And being able to actually get that opportunity and then cash it in is, you know, that's something that you will enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. And, you know, on the other side, right, Canelo, I feel like, you know, he said he's had a hand issue since Caleb Plant. Still got the knockout in that fight, but then, you know, lost to Bivol, you know, okay fight against Ryder. But I feel like he truly believes his hand is better, and he really, you know, he's heard all the talk. You know, he says it kind of, you know, you can't please everyone, but fighters are fighters. They want to be known as the best. They want to be known as still the guy, and I feel like he has that hunger back and is looking to kind of seek and destroy.
Yeah, look, I think what's been interesting is Canelo's been pretty candid, pretty honest, that he has not performed up to his usual lately. You know, not performed up to his standards. You know, he hasn't been happy with it, and you don't usually hear guys acknowledge that so clearly. And I think that's the other motivation he's got is, you know, he says he doesn't fight to prove the media wrong, and I believe that. But I think there is a chip on his shoulder, and he does want to say, look, everybody's writing me off and saying I'm on the downslope. You know, you're going to see, like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not only Charlo he wants to see; he wants us all to see, right?
Yep.
Now let's get to talk some boxing. I know we've talked Spence Crawford over the years on different occasions. Obviously, the fight happened already. So the latest, and you know, again, you know, rumor mill. Let's kind of, you know, like, knock stuff out. Did Errol Spence enact the rematch clause, and is it true that it's up to Terence Crawford what weight class the rematch happens?
He did. Errol did exercise the rematch clause. It's not quite that simple. It's not just saying, hey, I don't want to fight at this place, I want to fight this place. I mean, the idea is no one's going to, you know, you can't use the weight class to avoid it. So, you know, the reality is if you are actually going to, you know, be at 54 for the foreseeable future, then that's a good excuse. If you're going to stay, you know, at 47, that's fine. But don't say you can't do the rematch because you're at 47 and then take another fight with 54 right after. So it's not just say, I get to determine the weight. It's sort of like, no, let's figure out where are you actually going to be fighting. If you're actually, there's a mismatch in where you intend to be fighting, then there's not a fight to be made. But it's not like somebody can manipulate and just say, nah, you know, today I feel like going to 147, and in 6 months, if I get a big fight, I'll go to 54. You know, that's not really keeping the spirit of things.
Is that like kind of black and white on paper, or is it one of those?
I'm sort of paraphrasing. It's not, you know, it work. There's a little bit more formality to it, but it's sort of like that's the underlying concept. Is like, you know, no one should be able to just maneuver out of it by saying I'm doing this weight class. It's like, okay, if there's legitimately you're staying at 47 and you don't want to go to 54, okay, great. But then we shouldn't be seeing you fighting above 154 in the near future, if that's what you tell us.
And I was going to say, I mean, he keeps talking the plan is to face the winner of this, especially kind of specifically Canelo, right? I mean, Canelo's with PBC the next 2 fights. Is that kind of part of it? It's like, bro, like, what's the real deal here? Like, are you going to move up? Then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a discussion. I mean, all of it. There's no sort of immediate. You know, there's deadlines on it and deadline, but look, we got a busy schedule the rest of the year. We got a couple more events coming. You know, I don't think we're going to end up squeezing it in this year. You know, probably be next year anyway. So, you know, we'll figure it out.
Well, so then it doesn't necessarily is going to be by the end of the year.
I mean, look, it still could, but we're running out of time. So, like, you know, we need to get it done if it's going to happen this year. But again, I don't think there's any magic to it happening this year.
I just want to get into, you know, the return of the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. It sounds like it's going to be Bubo Andrade. I'm hearing November. Is that, you know, the truth? Is that, you know, pay-per-view? Is that what we're looking like for that fight?
We're getting close. We're getting close to making that fight for November. Not done yet. Anything can happen. You know, I don't like to sort of create expectations before things are in place. But I think it's going in the right direction.
Another star, HBO star, Gervonta, he just tweeted yesterday, top of the year. So is that still kind of working? And as I know, I hear East Cruz, rematch. Calvin's talked to me a lot about he kind of wants that one back. Is he maybe the front runner? Can you tell me that?
I wouldn't say that. We had a lot of different discussions with a lot of different types of opponents. I think that's the one. I think both of them won. I don't think neither one of them is really happy with their performance, but. Beyond that, I wouldn't say that he's the front runner. It really haven't even gotten to that point.
You mentioned it in your speech up there, kind of, talked about the UFC gate. I know you saw what Dana said. First, I want to talk about the question that the reporter asked, saying that there are rumors Showtime's getting out of boxing. What can you tell me about that?
I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, it's the same rumor we've been hearing since 2018, and it's usually guys who have. A rooting interest against us who are spreading it. You all know, who I'm talking about, who's been, spreading those. So, the reality is, look, you just, shrug it off. We continue doing what we're doing. We weren't going out of business in 2018 when guys said it. We weren't in 2019. Our response was, we're going to just keep making good fights, and that's what we're doing now.
When you hear stuff like that, Dana say stuff, kind of like hating on you and stuff like that. Obviously you said today, hey, UFC hasn't made the money, but you made, three $20 million gates. Are you kind of big fish take little fish, got a big bag take little bag kind of thing?
It's sort of scoreboard. I mean, look, you can call names. I mean, I don't know if Dana has the vocabulary to, be able to articulate himself better than saying F everybody, because that seems to be his go-to. But we all know he's very eloquent and articulate and, is so level-headed. Who would ever think that he would get mad and lash out at somebody? Like, that never happens. So I'm not sure how to take it. Like, I'd hope he gets some anger management counseling, because it seemed like sort of a little bit weird.
For sure. Yeah. Stephen, always great talking to you, man. Thank you so much. Good to see you, sir.